Hello, and welcome to a brief introduction to mortgage protection and the Theodore Group. My name is Nick Theodore, and I'll be going over exactly how we do mortgage protection, and we'll see if this audio is a good fit for you and if you're a good fit for us. I'm going to give you a brief background about myself because if you're coming on board, you need to know who we are and what to expect. The first thing that you can expect is the truth every single time me or any of my managers talk to you, which if you've dealt with anybody else in the insurance world or this industry should come as a welcome refreshment. There's a lot of very interesting characters in this business, and we believe that if we tell the truth and we're very honest with everything, then we'll find the right people for our business. My wife and I have been married since 1989, and we got our first business up and running in 1992 in Cleveland, Ohio. It was a Harvard flooring company. We were very successful, made a multi-six-figure income, and sold it for about $500,000 back in 2004. Then we got into real estate, and we were flipping houses, made a multi-six-figure income there. And then once 2009 rolled around, we had to get out of that industry and into another one for the simple reason that the banks were no longer lending to people doing what we did. So we needed to exit out of that industry and into another one that had the opportunity to have a multi-six-figure income. We were able to make $185,000 our first year in insurance, which was the first full year of 2010. Now, we do not have anything more than a high school education, so the only common denominator between those businesses was our hard work, determination, and our ambition. So what led us to mortgage protection? Why? Well, the one thing is that, of course, we're in the richest country in the world, and insurance, I was able to find out, was one of the wealthiest institutions in the world. So if you couple those two things together, along with some ambition and dedication, you can go out there and make a very substantial income for you and your family. But what does mortgage protection do? Well, here's what America needs, right? About 3,000 homes a day in the last 10 years get foreclosed on in the United States. A lot of those can be helped with a mortgage protection policy. What is it? Well, it's a form of life insurance, so you do need to have a life insurance license. And also, you need to be a U.S. citizen to get that, and you cannot have a major felony conviction on your record. Otherwise, you will not be able to be licensed by your state. So you do need to be able to get a license. It's a very simple process. We can show you how to do that. It costs about $50 to purchase a study course. It costs about another $100 to $110 to actually take your state test. Once that's done, you get fingerprinted. They do a background check on you to make sure you're a worthy candidate for a license. That usually takes about 7 to 10 days. That's when our training takes place. And then once you get your license number, we are ready to get up and going. Okay, so that was going to be your responsibility. You also need something called errors and omissions insurance, or E&O coverage, okay? Errors and omissions, E&O coverage. That usually costs about $30 a month. And that way, in case you make some kind of egregious error or omit something on a policy, you are never held responsible for it. It's kind of like liability insurance for your car, right? If you hit some old lady driving down the street, your insurance is on the hook, not you. Okay, so mortgage protection covers people in case of a death, disability, or critical illness. Mortgage protection differs from life insurance in a couple of different ways. First of all, you don't need a medical exam to get mortgage protection. You need a medical exam to get life insurance. So it's easier, it's simpler, it's faster, fits right into the wheelhouse of what Americans want today. In addition to that, life insurance only pays if you die. Mortgage protection pays if you're terminally ill, critically ill, which means you have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, something major like that, or you become disabled and can't go to work. It'll make your mortgage payment. It'll advance a lump sum of money to you if you're critically ill, chronically ill, terminally ill. That way it allows you to, when something bad happens to your health, have some money to make a mortgage payment or possibly even pay your house off completely. So mortgage protection has a massive benefit to Americans. We're going to discuss 4 things in this industry, okay? The first is going to be how you get paid. The second is who trains you. The third one is who you sell for. And the fourth one is who you sell to, or your client base. Now, here's how you get paid. Our contract levels start at 70% and go to 120%. That means that, let's say the average policy is about $100 a month across the country. Okay, so you go into a client's home, on average, we close about half the people we sit in front of. You go in there, you discuss how mortgage protection works, you figure out the best option for the client. They pay $100 a month. Now, I don't know how many bills you have that cost less than $100 a month, but in today's day and age, not many do, especially considering the fact that this one will actually save your home, and you won't be one of those 3,000 people every single day that lose their house, okay, and have your family out on the streets with nothing. So $100 a month, not too much to ask. Do we have policies that people buy if they're young for $15, $20 a month? Yes. Do some people spend $300, $400, $500, $600 a month on mortgage protection? Sure. If you're really old and have a lot of money and a big house you need to protect, that's definitely a possibility. So here's how you get paid. A policy that costs $100 a month, the insurance company does something called annualizing the premium. They multiply it by the 12 months out of the year, so $100 a month times 12 is $1,200. They then multiply that by your contract level at 70%, which is their lowest one. It's a starter contract. That equals $840. So if you go out there and you help Joe and Mary Smith get a policy, it's $840. Now, the insurance company is going to advance you 3/4 of that money right now, direct deposit into your bank account. They don't send it to us. They don't send it to Equis. They send it directly to you. If you sell for Mutual of Omaha, you get a deposit from Mutual of Omaha. They're going to advance you $630 out of that $840. Well, what happens to the other $210? Well, when months 10, 11, and 12 come around and the policy is still on the books, then you're going to get $70 each of those months to make up for the total amount of $210 that they still owe you. So you're going to get that $840 in the first year. $630 is in advance. Now, if the person makes a payment and strokes a check for the entire amount right up front, you're going to get your full $840. Okay. Now, what if the person has $200 worth of insurance? Well, obviously your commission's doubled, right? Or if they have $50 worth of insurance, your commission's cut in half. So it's all based on what's called the annualized premium. In addition to that, we have renewals with about 1/3 of the policies that we sell, right? So universal life, whole life, we have renewals with most of those companies. You get renewals. You are vested day one. Some companies in the industry do not let you have any renewals ever. We give them to you day one. So if January 1st of 2018 you write a policy and it's on the books January 1st of 2019, you're going to get a renewal. Now, a renewal is typically 3, 4, 5, 6%. So if it's 5% of $1,200, you're looking at like what, $60, right? You're not going to get rich off of that. You're not going to retire. However, they renew every single year that the policy is in force. So if you have 5 or 6 or 10 policies on the books every month, once your renewals start coming in, you can start making hundreds of dollars, and then a couple years down the road, you can start making thousands of dollars in renewals. Very, very important. Okay, second point, who trains you? In short, I do. Okay, why is that important? Because I know what I'm doing. Since 2009, I've been massively successful in this industry. Not bragging, but it is the truth, and I told you I'd tell you the truth. We do not have a new agent mentor, right? I do not pass off hiring and training you to somebody else. If I'm hiring you, I train you. If you're being hired by one of my managers, they are training you, and I'm helping. We have a fantastic website that's free. You can access 24 hours a day. You can do things like pulling off quoting engines, putting them onto your phone, downloading applications, watching videos and audio on how to make sales, how to do phone calls. Every single thing that you need is available to you 24/7 for free. Okay? Now, if you're good at doing this, you'll make good money. If you're great at it, you'll make great money. The X factor is going to be your ambition and how well you delve into training. Okay, so we have quarterly meetings, typically within a city close to you, right? Like we try to get to all the different regions, usually every quarter or 6 months. And here's the deal: like whatever you're going to put into this, you'll get out. You want to know how much you're really worth? This is a good business to figure out. But if you live in Columbus, Ohio, and we have a training in Indianapolis, Indiana, and you're not willing to drive a couple of hours to get there, and it's a free training, I just don't know what to tell you, but you're probably not going to be very successful, because that's really a crappy attitude to have. If you don't think that you need help from the top people in the country, you're probably not going to be that good. In addition to that, we have meetings that are 2 to 3 day trainings, corporate trainings, twice a year. They're typically held in Orlando, Florida. These are conventions. Are they mandatory? Absolutely not. Do they cost money? About $150, okay? But that typically pays for the food, the drink, the desserts, the appetizers that they provide for you. Here's the thing. If that's something that's just out of the question for you, you can just hang up right now. We are not interested, okay? If you don't think that you need to be taught and trained by the top people in the country on a continual basis, you're not who we're looking for. We don't hire everybody. You can go to one of our competitors. They'll hire you in a second, and they'll blow sunshine up your skirt, and they'll tell you how great you're going to be, and you'll make $1 million, and you'll fall flat on your face. You want to be told the truth? That's what we do here at the Theodore Group. So what you put into this is what you're going to get out. Now, who do you sell for? Top-rated, A-rated insurance companies like Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, Foresters Financial, Columbian Financial Group, Phoenix Life, American Amicable. The list goes on and on and on. If you go and work for one individual company like Nationwide or Allstate, you have one option for the client. We have term and universal life policies and whole life policies. We can do universal life without an exam up to age 75 with multiple companies. We can do term insurance, multiple companies with no exam up to age 80. You can still get a 10-year term policy. And keep in mind, these all have the living benefits. So if you get an 80-year-old covered and he has a heart attack 2 weeks later, he can possibly have his house paid off. Okay? We have whole life policies that are simplify issue and even guarantee issue up to age 85. Nobody else has the spectrum of companies that we have. In addition to that, we have multiple companies knocking down our door to create products and partner with them. Okay? These are all simplify issue. What does that mean? It means that we have about a dozen medical questions. And as long as the client answers them and they're within the guidelines that are set up, and these are very broad guidelines. Like if you're 6 foot tall and 305 pounds, you're okay. If you're diabetic with insulin, you're okay. You have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, asthma, you're okay. Some companies say if you have atrial fibrillation, you're still okay. These are on our mainline policies. So we're talking about stuff that is excellent for the client, and you're going to get paid. So you will not walk out of someone's home because you didn't have a viable option for them. Now, who do you sell to? You can sell insurance to anybody you want to, just so you know, within your state, as long as you have a license in that state. Let's say you live in Indiana and you have a relative in Michigan. You can get a non-resident license for that state and go sell there as well. Okay? Maybe that person wants some insurance. I'm of the opinion that we need a system where you have an unlimited source of clients. So we partner with lead companies around the country. Okay? Here's where you having a real business comes into play. When we had our Harvard Flooring Company, we ran $2 million worth of work every single year, and we brought home about 12 to 13% of that. We made about $250,000 a year. Well, what happened to the other, $1.8 million? It was expenses. Here, you can flip those numbers upside down and keep 80 to 90% of your money that you make, but you will have to spend some. You're going to have that errors and emissions insurance. You're going to have gasoline to go to the client's house, and you're going to have to find a client. Now, you can either, call the phone book and take your chances that way, or go knocking up and down the street of the doors of the people in your neighborhood, or talk to people. But I suggest getting leads, right? You get a lead from a qualified person, and here's how they're created. If you've ever purchased a house, you probably would have gotten one of the leads from a vendor that we partner with. That means that you would have, if your name is Joe Smith and you have a $112,000 loan with Wells Fargo, your name, the lending institution, the amount of the loan, the record date of the loan is right there on the lead. And it says, hey, Joe, you just purchased a home on May 2nd, 2017 with Wells Fargo Bank. Would you like to protect your loan in the event of a death or disability or a critical illness? If so, fill out the form, and if not, throw it away. We really don't care. It's up to you. We're not forcing you to do nothing, and we're not going to give you a free gift to fill this out. No incentive other than the fact that you want insurance. So you have the ability to either call in and ask for somebody to come out and help you, or fill out the form where you fill out your name, your spouse's name, your height, weight, smoking status, whether you're male or female. Give us your phone number and a signature, or you call in with that information. Once you do that, you become a lead, right? Now, we partner with companies that only sell those leads to one entity at a time, which means that if we get it, nobody else is going to get it. In addition to that, if it comes to our company, only one agent from the company gets it, and that's your lead. Does it cost money? Yes. A brand new one of those is about $41. Are they good? They're freaking awesome. You can turn a massive profit with a bunch of those. You can turn a few $100s into a couple of thousand very, very quickly without having to work a ton. Typically, if you're in the 12 to 25, maybe 30% expense range, that's pretty typical with insurance, which means you're going to keep 70, 80, maybe 90% of what you make. Now, can you get older leads that are less expensive? Absolutely. We can get them as low as 50 cents. There's companies that we have them for $1, $2, $3, and up to $6. When I was in the field a couple of years ago, I don't think I spent any money on brand new leads. I just worked all the older ones and cleaned up. I was using 50-cent leads, and I was doing great. I was getting a lot of appointments. I was booking a lot of them. I was going out and taking care of a lot of folks. So you will have an expense. This is a business. A job would indicate that you're trading your time and energy for a paycheck. A business is you trade time, energy, and money for an income. Okay, so that's what we do. We work with leads. Do you have to purchase leads? No, you don't have to do anything. You're going to be an independent contractor. You don't have to work at all, but just know this. You don't work, you don't get paid. I've been paid every single week since August of 2009 in this industry. We have turned a profit every single week. We know how to do that. The company does not make they do not make money on leads. I was going to say that me as an individual or any of my managers, we do not make or lose money on leads either. However, Equis Financial, if you participate in their lead program, put it this way, you better know how to close because they lose a massive amount of money on their lead program. In their inaugural year, they lost almost $1 million on their lead program, which means they buy leads from vendors, cut the cost down, and sell them back to you. Why? Because they're not looking to trip over dollars to pick up pennies. They know if they can get more leads in your hand, then you have the ability to go out and make some serious income for you and the company. Because let's face it, when you get paid and you get an advance of $630, Equis makes money too. That's what they're here for. They're providing all this service for you, and they don't charge you for it, but they're going to get a bonus from the insurance company when you make sales for them. Okay, so that's how our lead program works. Now, the great part is this. We have incentives for people that are highly successful, and so do insurance companies. We have multiple insurance companies that will send you a check every single month as you sell for them. You hit certain numbers with certain insurance companies, you might get a check for $100 or $200. One company we work with will give you a check for up to $1,000 if you just sell 10 policies for them in a month. 10 policies in a month, and you're going to get a $1,000 bonus from that particular company. That's pretty cool. In our group, we also have incentives for leads that will allow you to only pay for a fraction of your own leads. So we help people that are good salespeople get to great by bonusing them leads. Okay, and we'll get into that here in a minute. The company also gives bonuses out as well to agents that are issue paying at least $10,000 of business, which is not very difficult. That's about 9 cases a month. And we also have free trip incentives. And these are trips all around the world designed for you and a guest or a spouse, and everything's taken care of, including airfare to and from the airport and all expense paid trip, usually for at least a week. Okay, here is where Equis is drastically different than other companies. Okay, Equis has what's called an equity bonus. Okay, so the Theodore group works under Equis, the umbrella of Equis Financial. Okay, they have not just an agent bonus, but they have an agency bonus. So if you're a manager, okay, you can make extra, $500,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $6,000 a month running an agency as a bonus. Or if you are doing at least $175,000 of issued business a month, you then qualify to get a portion of all of Equis. And here's how that works. You get 0.25% as a first stage. The second stage is 0.5%. And the third stage is 0.75%. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but here's the deal. If a company is doing $4 million a month, 0.25% is a $10,000 bonus. 0.5% is $20,000, and 0.75% is $30,000. Now, our president and CEO built his last company up a decade ago to over $100 million company, which means you were doing over $8 million a month. So at that point, your equity bonus as a manager, if you choose to run an agency like I do, could be $20,000, $40,000, $60,000 a month or more after the money that you make. Now, how does running an agency work? Well, this is not available for everybody. It's available only for people that can not only run their schedule and monitor it, but also help other people to do it. We are not a multi-level marketing company. We are not a network marketing company. We do not need you to recruit anybody for us. We can do that ourselves. But if you want to run an agency, your life insurance license allows you to be able to do that, which means when you hire someone, you're going to get a bonus from the insurance company as well. Now, in the beginning, you might have 1 or 2 agents, and you might make a little bit here and a little bit there. Once you get to the point where you're actually good at it, this is a very scalable business. And our first year in this industry with Equis Financial back in 2016, the inaugural year of Equis, we made over $255,000 strictly in override income or bonuses as managers. Okay. So Equis is a fantastic company to run an agency. We do not make you be part of groups or clubs that cost money. We do not charge you money when your agents take leads. That's called lead override. Other companies have that. So we are the agent's company. So you have a choice of who you're going to work for if you're coming into the mortgage protection industry. Why Equis? Well, first of all, they are the agent's company. Here's what some of the companies do in the arena. They're going to want a list of everybody that you know to try to hire them so that when you quit, they have something left over from you. We don't need that, and we don't want it. If you want to hire people, we'll possibly allow you to do it. If you can prove that you can go out and do the system and make sales, then we'll talk about it. Some of the companies take your renewals away from you and pay bonuses to top managers as a result. Or they'll overcharge for leads and pay bonuses to top managers. See, some of the other companies out there charge $60, $70, $75 for a lead that Equis loses money on selling it for $41. Where do you think that money goes? Lining the pockets of somebody, I can guarantee you that. Some of the companies will sue you if you decide you want to leave. You cannot contract with carriers after you leave that company for 6 months or a year, sometimes 2. Some of the companies have non-compete clauses that don't allow you to leave and be in insurance at all afterwards. Here's what Equis says. If you want to leave, there's the door, and we'll give you a signed letter of release within 24 hours. If you don't want to work with us, guess what? There's the door, and we don't want to work with you either. This is going to be a real adult relationship where we're going to tell you exactly what we're going to do, and it'll be the truth, and we expect you to do what you're going to do. So that's why we've chosen Equis, because of those 4 points: how we get paid, who trains us, who you sell for, and who you sell to, plus the fact that they have the best agency building platform on the market available to everybody who will put forth the effort to participate in it. Now, if you're going to come on board with Equis, here's why you should come on board with the Theodore Group. Okay, we were the #1 issue paid agency in Equis in the inaugural year. Okay, #1 issue paid agency in Equis in the inaugural year. We came on board day 1 and had a handful of writers. A year later, we had 4 dozen out in the field every single week writing insurance. What does that tell you? That we know how to get people started and keep them around and get them making money. Okay. We've developed multiple people who did not have an insurance license coming into this business that are qualified regional managers or higher in this company. And we're dedicated to helping you become successful. Also, when the company needs help with underwriting in terms of teaching it at conferences and at meetings, they actually come to me. Why? Because I know more about it than any of the other managers do, quite frankly. So when you come here to the Theodore Group, you're going to know more about how policies work. and what to write in what situation than any other group in the country. I can guarantee you that. I'm also on a panel of 4 people that help develop new products for our company. Now, this country is filled with highly talented, unsuccessful people. Why? Because very few people in this country have the ambition and really what it takes to make money in this world. I know how to do that, and I know how to transfer that skill to you. I will not be a mentor to you, and I will not be a micromanager. I will, however, help monitor 2 things with you. Your work ethic. On a scale of 1 to 10, any business that you run in the United States of America, you better be a 10 out of 10. If you're a 9 out of 10, you'll make half the money you think you should make. Okay? You better be a 10 out of 10. The second thing that we're going to monitor together is your ego. Now, if your ego is a 10 out of 10, when you go into a client's house, they're probably not going to like you very much, and they're not going to do business with you. Also, if your ego is a 2, you're not going to have the ability to ask that person for their banking information, their social security number, and their driver's license. You'll be too timid to do it. Your ego needs to be about an 8. Okay, you have to have some swagger in this business to be able to walk into a client's house and 45 minutes later walk out with a signed application and a voided check and getting a deal done, and they shake your hand on the way out and say, "Thank you, Nick, for helping me out. You really did a good job today protecting my family." Okay, you need to have some quality in you to be able to take care of that. You need to have that. But we're going to monitor your ego. You see, if you don't think it's important to drive 2 hours to a training, there's an ego problem there, or there's a work ethic problem. And we'll sniff it out right away, and we'll let you know what it is. And it's going to be up to you to fix it. Do we make you do those things? Absolutely not. But I will tell you the truth, and I'll tell you when you're making a mistake, and I'll tell you when you're doing the right thing. Now, the way that you need to respond back to the manager that sent you this recording, or if it was my wife and business partner, Cindy Theodore, send an email back to that person requesting an interview or a follow-up with this. Now, when you do it, again, we're very choosy. We're not like other companies that get paid to recruit you. We don't. So we're not just going to take every single person that comes on board. And here's what you may want to get a pen and a paper. There's a couple things you want to remember. Okay. First thing is when you send the email back, please be professional about it. Don't put it in all caps. Have your spelling done right. We look at those things. What we don't look at is your resume, but we will look at how you respond and interact with people, because that's what's going to make a difference going forward. Secondly, if you want to talk to me directly, I'll give you my cell phone number. Do not call my number. Send me a text. Let me know who you are, who gave you this information, which one of my managers, and then I'll talk to you directly as well. Okay, you'll go on that person's team, but if you want to chat with me, here's my phone number, 440-371-4170. Again, 440-371-4170. Send me a text message with your name and the manager that had sent you the information. We'll set up a personal time to talk. We're always going to be asking you if you had listened to this audio recording prior to doing the interview. So we're going to ask you for a code word. Get ready to write down the code word. It's very, very simple, and it's an exciting one. The code word is equity bonus. Again, the code word is equity bonus. So if they ask you for the code word before they set up an interview, you need to respond back that the code word was equity bonus. Moving forward, you need to ask yourself if you're really looking to figure out how much you're actually worth. If you are, we're in the richest country in the world, in the richest and wealthiest institution, and we've just come out of the greatest recession our generation has ever seen. If you want to go for something like you've never gone for it before and have a shot to make a 6-figure income, a multi-6-figure income, maybe, just maybe, knock on the door of a 7-figure income someday, because Equis is the place to do it. Then you want to respond to us, and let's see what we can do. Have a great day.